What's up guys, Kyle here again, and today we're going on a little mini adventure, and I mean band practice. Yay. And I'm bringing you guys along for the ride because today is the first day that I'm gonna use the 5150 iconic EL34 in a live band setting, and I wanna give you guys my first impressions, so let's do it. All right guys, hope you're doing great out there today. If this is your first time here on my channel, my name is Kyle. What I do is I take all sorts of awesome high gain related guitar equipment, record it with a simple setup and I give you the unprocessed audio on your end. Not on urine, on your end. Thanks, I got that whole wrong. All right guys, so if you caught my video the other day on the 5150 iconic EL34, you will know that I am just super high on this amp right now because I tried this thing out the first time and I literally could not stop playing it. I was a huge fan and a huge proponent of the original 5150 iconic, the 6L6 model, and this amplifier did not let me down. In fact, I think it's actually a better sounding amp than the 6L6. So what I'm gonna do today is I'm actually gonna pack this and the 6L6 version up, and I'm going to put myself through torture because I love moving heavy guitar equipment. And I'm gonna bring them both to band practice with my band, Human Animal. It's been a little while since we've done anything with Human Animal here on the channel, so I figured I might as well include them. And for those of you who haven't been around here for a long time, that is my kind of like 90s New York hardcore style band that I play guitar in. But yeah, there is no better way to figure out whether an amplifier is right for you or not than to take it and actually use it in a band setting, in a loud band setting, and that's exactly what we're gonna do today. So I'm gonna pack up my stuff, and more importantly than the gear that's being used today, I actually have to stop and pick up some pizzas on the way to band practice. So I'm bringing you guys along for the ride. Let's go. Now that is a sick Harley. Thank you very much, man.
Have a great day.
You too. Nice bike, man. Yep. Look at that. Look at that. Take your clothes off. I had to taste test already. I don't know if we got plates anywhere. We'll just eat over the stove like animals.
Look at Kyle trying to polish this turd.
You're like a more obnoxious Pauly Shore.
In a good way or a bad way? Because that sounds pretty brutal.
This one?
Yeah.
This one sounds good, but it doesn't cut. It doesn't sit in mixes.
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
from
yeah,
what
yeah,
I
yeah.
remember, anyways. This one was like when we were just playing. I thought it sounded perfect.
Yeah.
Like I was really happy with it. So we'll see how this one sits.
Yep.
For the next song.
I thought the first one sounded a little better.
The gold one? I
Yeah.
agree. It sounds a little more like
Like, is everything set the same?
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright guys, so I'm on my way home now. Just wrapped up the first practice with the EL34 Iconic and comparing it to the 6L6 Iconic, and I gotta say, man, I just do not understand how these amps ever get any hate. I mean, there's a lot of people that love these amps, and obviously for good reason, but there's a lot of people who hate them too. Even I saw somebody post a thread the other day in a couple of the Facebook groups, and they tried out the EL34 at the store, and they just captioned it "giant disappointment," and that was it. Didn't follow it up with any information or any reasons on why it was a disappointment, because I'm sure that it was just to get attention. But for real, like, these amps are incredible. Like, James Brown did such a good job on the design of these things, playing them in a band setting. The last time I played the Iconic in a band setting, and I was a little bit disappointed in the mids because it was having a hard time kind of sitting with everything, I was playing through a 16 ohm Marshall 1960 vintage cabinet. So since then, I've actually gotten my own Mesa cab that I just leave at the practice spot. And through the Mesa cab, man, I had no problem with either amp sitting properly in the mix. Dude, I'm a fan. Like, I will absolutely be using one of the two for the next show that I play with Human Animal for sure. I really, really thought that both amps sounded fantastic. As far as the differences between the two, one thing that I did notice about the EL34 that I didn't touch on my first video is that it seems like they changed the sweep of the presence control. It seems like the presence control now has a more typical, like, PV 5150 presence sweep, where the presence doesn't really come on until you get up to like 7, 8 on the dial, and then all of a sudden it starts to open up. Whereas the Iconic, the presence came on right after like 4, or right after like 11 o'clock on the dial, which is why a lot of people would characterize the amp as bright or harsh. It's because they just turn the presence up too high because they dial things with their eyes and not with their ears. So anytime they would dial that presence above noon, the amp would be overly bright. So it seems like with the EL34, they kind of listened to that and they implemented the more old school PV sweep on the presence control to basically to bring the presence on slower and to negate, you know, the complaints of the amp being overly bright, even though it's not. It's just people just weren't dialing it in quite right. So other than that, I noticed that the EL34 was a little bit rounder, a little bit fuller in the mids overall. And besides that, man, the differences were like quite small. They were pretty small, which I was expecting, but they were noticeable. So if you liked the 6L6, but wish that it had a little bit rounder mid profile and wish the presence came on maybe a little bit slower, the EL34 is for you all day long. And you know, besides that, not a lot of differences. Do I think that there's a reason to run out and buy the EL34 if you already have the 6L6? I would say no, man. That's redundancy. Unless you're a collector and an insane person like myself, it's very, very redundant to have both amplifiers. But if you don't already have the 6L6 Iconic and you've been thinking about getting one, I would definitely say, I'm pretty sure that that's the guy that I sold a bunch of drum gear to earlier today. I would definitely say run out, give the EL34 a try. If I had to choose between the two, at the moment, I think I would probably go for the EL34 model just because it does seem to be a little bit more balanced. But yeah, man, other than that, I really, really enjoyed both of them. When I flipped back and forth between the amps, I was expecting a little bit more of a difference on the 6L6, remembering how the mids weren't quite there in a band setting, but that just wasn't the case, and I feel like the Mesa Cap definitely had something to do with that. So I think that you could easily get away with either in a band setting. Both amps are awesome. I will have a dedicated comparison video coming up on the channel at some point in the near future, so make sure that you are subscribed if you want to see that. If you want to pick up either of the amplifiers, affiliate links down below in the description of this video, so you guys can grab those and use the affiliate link. It helps the channel. If you would be so inclined, I would really, really appreciate it, and hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. And I'm getting the hell out of here. I'm going to bed, and I don't want to crash my car on the way home. Thanks so much for watching. Kyle here again. We'll see you next time. Bye!
You know what this wall is missing? Another amp. There we go.